It's all me, huh? Okay. I'm going to do a song written and sung by John Prine, Paradise. Cool. And it was recorded in 1971. So. When I was a young boy, my family would travel down to western Kentucky where my parents were born. And there's a backwards old town that is often remembered, so many times that my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it away. Well, sometimes we'd travel right down the Green River to an abandoned old prison by Audrey Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we'd shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles is all we would kill. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it away. Well, the coal company came with the world's biggest shovel. They ripped off, they stripped off, they scraped off the land. And when they were done with their mass excavation, they wrote it all off as the progress of man. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes float down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it. He hauled it away.
I'm not so good with this. Okay, so my name is Rock, and hold it closer. But anyway, when I get up here to give announcements, I'm aspiring to be Earl, because I think Earl is the really best announcement giver. You know, it's like really firm, really. You really know it's there. It's not wishy-washy, but it's almost meditative, right? So I was thinking if I could do like Earl, sort of lean back, a little bit like that, and then lean forward and look at my notes. Maybe it would actually wash off, right? So, a couple weeks ago, my daughter and her husband wanted to take me to a football game, a University of Arizona football game, and that's American football with the ball that's shaped like a little brown seed, right? Not like a little globe. And I think the last time I was in a football stadium, it was to go to something like a Jimi Hendrix concert. Maybe you were there, right? And that kind of dates me. So we're sitting up way up in the top high bleachers, and it's really beautiful because you can see out across the city and the players are running around. And I'm going, it's like, what can I take away from this experience? There's got to be something here. And at halftime, they brought a bunch of athletes onto the field. At the halftime break, they have a halftime break. And they said, we're introducing all these new people to the University of Arizona Hall of Fame. Right? And so I thought, that's what we need. Arizona, the Diamond Mountain, we used to call ourselves a university, but Diamond Mountain Retreat Center. Diamond Mountain needs a Hall of Fame. And that's where you memorialize really your brightest stars, the people that have shone so bright, right? I come from Texas, so they shine at night. And they shine, stars so bright they shine at night, and they shine on everyone around them, and they make those people shine more. And so as soon as I thought about this Hall of Fame, I thought about Susan Stump and David Stump. So from the really very beginning of Diamond Mountain, they kind of had, the people that actually kind of started it kind of dumped a bunch of stuff on them. They took it on their shoulders. They picked it up, and they've, since that time, they've given, and 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 they have never asked for anything worldly in return. We know that they've gotten a lot spiritually in return, and they've gotten more than they've given because that's the way it works, right? So, and now they're leaving after 10 years. They gave stuff like houses and money and hundreds of other things. They gave their time. They took responsibility for the invisible stuff, and there's lots of it, insurance, permits, tax filings. They did the DM books. They did all of the maintenance. They made sure it all got done. David personally supervised the shoes, and they're looking pretty. They're not quite up to David's standards right now. It still makes an impression on me. I always put I never would put my shoes on the floor. I always put them on a shelf. And they served on the board of directors here until they went into retreat. They're also 3-year retreaters. I think most everybody probably knows that they completed the 3 years. They also gave Dharma. They taught formal classes. They helped people one-on-one. And I think probably they helped people more through their actions and their example than they did in any classes. Susan lectured on such really, I attended, I kid you not, on a Susan lecture on a very deep topic on why did the Dharma chick cross the road? I also took a death meditation class from you down in Tucson, and 13 Logic from Susan at Ted and Andrea Lemons. I don't know if you remember, but and they gave love in a lot of different ways. Especially at protecting people from fear. And David was actually the first person that kind of reached out to me and got me involved. There was going to be a ceremony, and there was a secret mandala for the ceremony, and they had a little tiny picture, and they needed it blown up big, and then photoshopped so it didn't look like a blob. And so that made me feel really cool because I was getting to work on this secret mandala. And so that actually seems like the thing a Buddha would do, like Geshe Michael was talking about today. It's the perfect thing. It's just like it drew me in. And so I've always suspected ever since then that David is a Buddha and Susan are Buddhas. So they gave their lives to Diamond Mountain. And they put it on their broad shoulders, in my opinion, and carried it for those 7 years. And everyone in this room today and everyone that's ever taken a class here at Diamond Mountain through all those years owes them a thank you. I don't know if it would be here without them. And in my opinion, outside of the lamas, there have been no more important people to keeping the Diamond Mountain dream alive than David and Susan Stump. And so we made a little poster here somewhere. It's not as valuable as a gold watch. Okay, so you can project it. All right, it says, Diamond Mountain Hall of Fame, David Stump, Susan Stump, you carried us all. Thank you.
Okay, please prepare for meditation. blow your nose if you have to blow your nose. Okay. Please relax your forehead. Relax your mouth. Relax your fingers, shoulders. Tighten your stomach a little bit. And then we'll just spend a few minutes getting the body still. Watch that you don't move your hands. Don't move your feet. Don't move your shoulders. Stay like a stone. please start watching your breath, just lightly. You can come on and off your breath, and no need to count yet. Now please start counting your breath. Again, you're looking not to reach 10, you're looking to catch any other thought that slips in. And if you're very, very strict with yourself, you will catch them and then be happy to go back to one. Now, please invite again the person, another person that you admire. Someone who's taught you in your life. And again, please think of 3 different things about them that you admire. Then try to choose one of those 3 and focus on it. Choose one of the 3 things you admire. Then try to look in your own life and see that there's a seed for that in you. You have some kind of habit or habitual behavior, small one, which has made the seed for this bigger, beautiful thing you see in them. Now try to imagine that seed cracking open and a picture of this other person coming out, which is more like a statue made of light. And then your mind throws it onto this person, and then you see them in a certain way. Illogically, you can see the back of them, you can see the front of them at the same time. And they, all over them, they have this quality. In my case, it's someone who is takes responsibility and initiates actions. And then I'm trying to look for a seed of that in myself. Much smaller. And then play back the movie again and again. See the scene again and again of the seed opening in your mind. And covering, flying out to coat the person and make it seem as though they are responsible. Whatever you see, play it back again and again. The seed is in your heart chakra. Imagine it's like a fog, or it's like wings opening, and then light comes out, and then like a coating made of light flies out around this person. And then you see them with this quality. But try to feel how it happens very fast. Play it over and over a few times, then we'll stop. Please come back to your breath. Watch your breath. Don't give up the meditation yet. Keep there. Stay there. And then slowly come out. Okay. Stretch. Any questions? Comments? Roniti?
I have a question. It's a matter of for a while.
About this meditation? Go.
They say, well, at least the way I was taught, that to cry in meditation is a kind of distraction. But then when I open my heart to it, I start to cry, and it's like, it just happens. So what should I do?
Ronit's question is, she heard that starting to cry during meditation is a distraction, and you should try not to cry during meditation. My own opinion, I haven't seen it in the scripture, okay? But my own feeling is that crying is very healthy and very good sign. It's a very good thing that happens during meditation. So my advice would be to cry and appreciate it and take happiness in it. And then when you're finished crying, then come back to the meditation and meditate some more. Okay? So that's what I would do. It's a very beautiful thing to cry. And I would just meditate another 5 minutes and, something like that. Is it too cold? Are you all right? Too cold? You all right? Okay. Question? Yeah.
About the early part of the meditation when we're keeping our bodies still or just lightly watching the breath. What is your advice for the thoughts that arise in the mind during that time?
Okay, good. So at the beginning, we're just doing two things. We call stillness and breath. So we're not even counting the breath yet. So we're just trying to sit very still without moving, and then we start just lightly following the breath. And the question is, if during that time we have massive amounts of distracting thoughts, what do we do about that? At that point in the meditation, for the stillness, it's okay. Okay? Whatever's happening in your mind, just relax, let it happen. But watch your body. Okay? So you're attempting to focus on your fingers and your toes, and you're not shifting around. And so if other thoughts come up at that time, it doesn't matter. Just let it. But every once in a while, check your body and don't move. So the only goal at that time is not to move. You're not trying to control your mind. Then at the second stage, you're just getting in touch with your breath. So also it's okay if you're distracted. Okay? If distractions come, they can come. Just lightly, you're starting to turn inwards. You're using the breath to begin to turn inwards, and just lightly follow it. But when you reach the third one, you have to lock down. Like we teach at a prison, and every once in a while they have a lockdown. And somebody got stuck there like half a day, right? They were in the wrong part of the prison, they got locked down, and they won't open the doors for 3-4 hours. Nobody can go anywhere. So they got stuck inside this little room with these prisoners, meditating. And when they do the lockdown, then nobody gets out. Nobody. Like the workers in the prison, the what do you call it? The guy in charge. The warden. Nobody can go anywhere. That's the rule, So when you start counting breath, it's a lockdown. And no outside thoughts. And if there's two ways to look at that. You can say, can I reach 10 without thinking of something else? But the other way of looking at it is just lie in wait to trap a thought. So instead of trying to get to 10, you're just trying to see if you can catch a thought like a mouse running around the house. The first couple days of my 3-year retreat, I decided I would catch the mouse, with a cup or something, and it was really funny. I was throwing chairs and, knocking over things. And you cannot catch a mouse with a cup, okay? I'm just telling you. And, I just didn't know. But you're like trying to catch a mouse, And you should feel, reverse the usual thing. The usual thing is, oh, if I can get to 10, I'm successful. Forget that. You can't, if you're honest. Just say, can I catch a mouse? Can I catch a thought coming to my mind during the count to 10? And then the afternoon is a terrible time to meditate, okay? So don't feel bad. Evening is also a bad time. So it's pretty much morning, okay? Afternoon is a terrible time to try to meditate. And then evening, you're very tired. Morning is when you make your big progress in your meditation, in my experience. Yes, Margie?
I've been kind of experimenting. Sometimes I meditate first and do yoga, or vice versa, I do yoga and then meditate. And I think I have personally better concentration in my meditation when I do yoga first. And I was wondering if there was anything in the scriptures that talked about what order.
Yeah. Good. It's a very not an unusual question. Many people ask this question. The question is, Margie's found that if she does her yoga first, then her prana is moving, and then she has a better meditation afterwards. So in these programs, we've been generally doing the meditation first and then the yoga. It's a very personal thing, and I don't think there's any rule. I think you have to experiment, There are some people who do much better if they start with the yoga and then do the meditation. And there's some people who do much better with the meditation and then the yoga. And the arguments for each one are, the meditator's first school says, if you move your body around a lot after you wake up, then it's hard to meditate afterwards. And what happens to me if I do yoga first is that I feel really stiff because I need to walk after yoga. If I just sit down and start meditating, especially if my clothes are wet, so never meditate in wet, take off your sweaty yoga clothes. That's important. And then put on some fresh clothes and then meditate. Myself, I get really, sore or something. My muscles tighten up. But I've had some really good meditations after yoga. Then the people who say do yoga first, they're like, of course your prana is moving better. You woke up a little bit. Sometimes if you go straight from bed to meditation, you get sleepy, you can't control it. So my advice is just experiment with it. As far as what the scriptures say, I can't recall them saying either way. Okay, I can't recall them saying either. I haven't seen the question in the scriptures. Okay, I would just experiment with your own body. You might also experiment doing yoga at different times of the day. Like it doesn't have to be in the morning. I feel low in the mid-afternoon, like 2-3 o'clock. I start to get sleepy. And my guru, Bob Harper, said, don't reach for those chocolates, do some yoga. And and it's true, like sometimes I feel like I want to take a nap. Sometimes I feel like I want to eat chocolate. But I've actually tried to do yoga during my when I feel low, like I feel like I really want to go take a nap, or I just feel really low, then try to do yoga. And sometimes it really, for me it's about 80% of the time it changes me completely. And I feel wonderful afterwards. But to start is a big hassle because you feel so tired you don't want to do anything, So that's when it's good to have a DVD, like a Bob Harper DVD. Luckily, Kendra doesn't have any DVDs. What's the other thing? Those of you who are teachers, do a nice yoga just before you teach. Like do a yoga like an hour before you teach, and you will find that it comes out much better. Your prana is flowing better. So if you have an important meeting at work, or you're going out on a date or something, or do yoga just before and see how it changes the experience. Okay, you might find something cool. Yes, madam.
Geshe-la, you said to us in previous teachings that the
quality of our meditation depends on our seeds, right? So if you interrupt people, the meditation is interrupted, and if you're nice to people, you have a nice meditation. So at the end of the day, all these little like tricks are so. How, like, what should we do? You know, I mean, I guess both, but.
Yeah, it's a good question.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a very good question, Monica. Asking, in our school, right, everything comes from seeds. So whether or not you have a good meditation, it doesn't matter whether you slept before, it doesn't matter whether you ate a big meal before, it doesn't matter whether you just played a lot of music. You know, in the end, nothing matters except seeds in your mind. If you have good seeds, you can meditate anywhere, anytime. And if you have bad seeds, it doesn't matter if you have the right seed and you put the right hand down first and you cross your legs in a certain way. It doesn't matter. If you have seeds in your mind, for example, from interrupting other people on a regular basis, which I have a problem with, then your meditation will be interrupted. Okay, and it doesn't matter what kind of tricks you do. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. And that's true. But what Monica said in the end is also true. It's probably better to know all the tricks and then collect the right seeds for your meditation, which are the 10 non-virtues are supposed to be the best seeds for meditations. Protect life, protect other people's belongings, what do you call it? Respect other people's relationships, try to tell the truth, try to bring people together, don't waste your, try to speak sweetly to other people, try not to gossip it during the day, try to be happy when other people get things, try to empathize when other people don't, when things aren't going right for other people, and then finally realize that the seeds are running everything. These are the 10 virtues. Supposedly, keeping those 10 carefully is how to plant seeds for meditation. Okay. So, I think it comes back to the aspirin question, you know. Does an aspirin take away your headache? No. Does the correct meditation seed and posture make your meditation good? We have to say no. But does it help if you have the right seeds? Then we say yes, okay? Then the question comes, if I have a headache and the aspirin only works because I've helped other people with their headaches, then why take the aspirin? You know, you're always talking, Geshe Michael, about loading the aspirin with karma by helping someone else who has headaches. But if I load up my karma, do I still have to go through the motions of taking the aspirin? And the answer is yes, until you get to a really advanced state of collecting karma. Okay, so where we are, which is on the path, right, in the middle of the path, you probably need both. You know, you need an aspirin and you need to load it. Later, if you get good enough at loading the seeds, you don't need an aspirin. Okay, and that's I think, so there's a middle place where if your karma's not that good, you should go ahead and try all the tricks that your teachers recommend and then load them with not interrupting other people or trying to be sweet to other people, and then your meditation will be good. And there will come a day when you don't need a correct meditation seed and you can. We had a kid in my debate class. He was a young man. He broke all the rules. While we were studying in perfect, lotus, sitting up straight, he used to, when the teacher went out of the room, he would lie down and he would hold the scripture like this, which is all wrong. And then he had a secret iPod, and he would put that on rock and roll, and he would lay down. He'd be like that, you know. And then he never participated in the debates. He never answered questions. He never debate. He'd just stand there and do nothing, And then when we had competitions with other monasteries, he would get up. And I remember one day he got up. We had a competition with the Tashi Lumbo Monastery, the Pension Lama's monastery. And he got up, and he was wiping out everybody. Nobody could beat him. Nobody could beat him. And then the abbot of Tashi Lumbo got up. This is Geshe Thupten Rinpoche's teacher. Okay? And he got up, and he's like, and this guy's like, and then the abbot took his hat off, and he bowed to him, And it means if your seeds are good, you can listen to rock and roll. You can lay on your back. You can ignore proper posture. But in the meantime, you have to. Okay, if your seeds are good enough, you can do that. But for us, we probably need both, I think. But you're right. In the end, it's only how many seeds you have of being kind to others. And you can meditate for many years and nothing will happen if you're not nice to other people. Okay. And I know people like that. They meditated for many years. They died. Some of them died. And they never got anywhere, apparently. So it's possible. Okay. Yes? Okay.
I have a question about when you talk about after we think about our person we admire, and we think about three good qualities about that person, and what should we do after we think about that three good qualities? Should we go back to counting our breath, or think more specifically about their qualities?
Yeah, good. Where we are now, so far where we are, is get yourself still, not moving. Then start watching your breath and start to bring the mind in. Then start counting your breath and not allowing any other thoughts. And then invite the person and get them clear, okay? Get them. And it's very important you're not meditating on a painting or a photograph. The person is alive. Their chest is moving. You can feel the warmth of their body. Like you can smell some sweet smell. They're not pretending. It's a real person. And then you start to think about something beautiful about them. 3 things. Just 3 things. And then I want you to practice seeing why you see that. And practice seeing the seed open up in your heart. And it's very difficult to describe, but it's like throwing a blanket on them made of light. So it's like you're throwing a blanket on over them, and it's made of light. And then you see them as nice. But that light is coming from you. How you see them is coming from you. And I want you to practice 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, seed opening, blanket coming out, like a blanket of light, then it throws over them, and then suddenly they're nice. And I want you to keep practicing that. I want you to keep feeling that, and then someday you'll see it. That's how you're doing. Then your main question is, what do I do after that? Yeah.
The problem is, after I think about those 3 good qualities,
Yeah.
then because it's easier to think about the 3 stuff. And
Yeah.
after that, there's a period that I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Before your next.
Oh yeah. If I take too long to get to the next thing, I'll tell you what I do when Geshe Michael takes too long to get to the next thing. I start thinking about specific days when I saw them do what I admire. So, like, I admire this person that they have a good meditation practice. And then, how do I know that? I saw them, they were having breakfast. Everybody else was eating breakfast, and they said, I have to excuse myself. I have to go meditate. And then they went into a room and they came out after half an hour and they look all bright and beautiful. And then I saw that again on another day, and then I saw that again on another day. And so try to think of specific examples. If the guy takes too long who's leading the meditation, then go deeper. And the Tibetan word for meditation is gom, right? Gom. Sanskrit is bhavana. And gom means if you think about it over and over again, it becomes a habit. And then when you meet people, if you are meditating about somebody, about their good qualities, and then you meet them, the next day you're like, and they're like, and you're like, and the feeling changes. Something changes in the feeling. Because you see them and you say, oh yeah, you're the person I was meditating on yesterday. There's a little hesitation. It's like when I go through customs in any country and they say, where do you live? And I go, Arizona. And it's that small hesitation because I don't remember where, and then it's that little hesitation. You see them and you're like, and then you start talking to them. So they feel that hesitation and they feel some good feelings from it. So what we're trying to do, we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. Why? Because that's the meaning of the word meditation. Gom means you do it over and over until you burn a pathway, a synapse into your mind. You burn a pattern into your own mind, and then it becomes automatic. And when you see people, then you're like, 3 good things. 1, 2, 2.5. Okay, 3. And it has to become a habit. That when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, what good things about Gibson? Let's see. Yeah, and then you like make a list, and then it becomes a habit. So we're just going to do it over and over again. And that's not a bad meditation. That's the meaning of meditation. That's the definition of meditation. So go deeper. Thank you for the question. I would like to take a walking break we were supposed to. How about we take a 10-minute break, something? Okay? All right? Stretch your legs. Drink. People aren't drinking enough water. Okay? And then come back. Okay. Is there a projection? Yeah. Okay. Where were you?
Yes, we need rosin for the base.
Oh, we do need?
And the best would be to have a little bit of alcohol to get off the old stuff. It's like melted like powder.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know any better. I just took it out.
Yeah, but I think it was the wrong kind.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it melted because it was hot.
The rosin you have to buy depending on the
You want the one that's a stick or something like that? It's like a little stick. It's not wet. I'll just go buy it on Wednesday.
and make sure it's based, no other stuff.
Nice job. I was thinking we should.
Yeah, these are very.
Related to one
I have not a clue. I thought you said it was here.
You made a couple cameos today.
You got a large frame too. You have a full frame frame. Yeah. I thought you said we're good.
Kelsey said that there was one making something.
Where are you at?
Where I live?
just left.
That I didn't know.
Oh, right on. When was the request for this?
Yeah, that's why I asked. I can drive back home tomorrow. See if it's in my ship, but I think it's not. Or alternatively, we can just do whatever. We do need to watch
I did.
But it looks just like the white Oh no, it didn't. It looked like that.
Hello. Where's John Brady?
Sam, can you get John Brady? There he is. Okay, we're going to get started. And so I am the gatekeeper of time. And unfortunately, I was, Venerable Phil got lucky because I was distracted by a technical issue. But unfortunately for the rest of you, I have to keep you to 5 minutes, so I will give Mr. Brady a lovely 4-minute and 59-second window to do his excellent presentation on the Casa renovation. Ladies and gentlemen, John Brady.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, everyone. This will be fast and furious. This is my 5-minute TED presentation here. So here we go. I'm part of a team of three other people. Nicole, where's Nicole? Nicole Vigna is on my team for the reconstruction of the new building in Sedona. Where's Connie O'Brien? Uh-oh. Oh, she's cooking. So I share this with them, and by no means am I the person who's, it's really getting down to the most opinionated who gets their way here. But here we go. This is our property, our new Sedona building. It's in actually Village of Oak Creek, which is about 5 miles south of Sedona, where it says SCIM, Sedona College of International Management. That's our building. Right in front of the building is the parcel that we just recently purchased. As you can see, it's plenty of room for a beautiful crepes and waffles, open till 2 a.m. Dharma center with lots of caffeine. So for now, we're going to plant beautiful flowers and maybe like a Zen garden to make everybody smile and show that we're really good neighbors. But let's go with the first slide. This is Mr. Wu, Mr. Eric Wu, who's been generously sponsoring the complete purchase of our building and the renovation of the building. He is based in China, very successful man. He, I think, was in real estate originally, but now he's a very fine teacher that travels throughout China. And, he's really great, and he's a great guy. He went on the Singapore trip with us, and he just hung out with us for like 2.5 weeks, like taking buses and dragging his own luggage around. So he's really quite a guy. So he's the one that has basically sponsored us. Next, please. Here's the front of our building, and we have our own ATM, as you can see. Very nice, For all of our paid salaried workers, we can cash our checks there. No. So there's an entrance next to the ATM that goes to the side of the building, and we go through a garden. You'll see a beautiful shot of the garden that's shared with the association that we share the property with. But you can see Mark Drapetti there doing some measurements of some kind. There's a stairway up to the second floor. The building was built with 2 separate floors with no internal stairway going up and down. They were 2 separate companies that took over each floor. Okay, go. There's the side of the building. Next. Okay. This is the beautiful, this is actually Cathedral Rock, but we are surrounded by this kind of beauty in Village of Oak Creek. And our second floor is just looking out to these landscapes like this. So quite beautiful. An ideal garden that we'd like to do. Next. These are all concepts. That's our actual garden, which we share. There's lots of potential for beautification. Dennis, you're going to be part of that. Here's a 3-dimensional first floor rendering. As you see in the back, that's our lecture hall. And then in a sundry of different departments in different rooms for different reasons. There's also a restaurant, a tea room, where the little tables are. Next. Here's our ideal reception/entryway. We are looking at both putting an elevator in because of code potentially, and also a stairway that goes, ideally a spiral stairway that goes upstairs. Reception room. Next. Lecture hall. It should be around 110, 120 people capacity. Fully insulated for audio and visual. Next. This is a Thangka and art room. Mr. Wu is very much into the Tibetan painting. He has a school in China, and so there'll be a lot of cultural exchange, and we intend to be doing that at Sedona College. Next. Translation room. The heart and soul of the building, as well as the scriptorium. We're looking at this beautiful Asian kind of context with tatami mats and fabric walls, and as you can see, wells to put your feet in and sitting on the floor a bit. Next. Our tea room, our kitchen, a little kitchen. Next. 2 washrooms. This is next. A beautiful kind of storage going into the wall. Ideally, we love this idea. We hope we can afford it. We're going to look at seeing if we can afford it. Next. There'll be an audio and visual and copy scan room. That's actually moving to the second floor, we decided, to give it more space. Next. Here's the second floor 3-dimensional idea. That's already changed. We're on to something new. But it's quite similar. The corner room will be an ACIP person's room as well as a DCI person's room. The one on the the right upper corner is the executive room for Geshe Michael and Mr. Wu, and other rooms for other reasons. Let's go. There's a scriptorium. Venerable Phil gave you, not exactly from the name of the rose, but, we're working on it. There'll be more bookshelves and a lot more detail in it, but we want to keep it, pristine and beautiful and contemplative. That is the heart and soul of the building. And everything that Phil said will go down in a room like this at the Sedona College. Next. Executive conference room. It's the only place that will probably have a table other than the tea room. But you get the idea. It's going to be, we want to make you feel like you don't want to leave the building. You want to stay in the building. It should have that feeling, that beautiful kind of energy. Next. This is Geshe Le's and Mr. Wu's office. We don't think Mr. Wu will come more than a couple times a year. We'll see, but he's planning on coming in January already. But you see, they will face a beautiful landscape of Bell Rock and other mesas in the area. It's just spectacular, just beautiful, beautiful corner office. Next, executive washroom with shower. Workstations. The idea is to keep things open and spacious so people can come in with their laptops and go to work and have comfort and have this kind of collective experience with everyone. But that's the idea, is to keep it open, keep it internal, so you want to have that feel of being in the building and wanting to be in the building. Next. here's our budget. The budget looks as if we're going to be probably coming in at about $600,000 for the renovation. And that includes a lot of the audio and visual equipment as well. So we have a new designer, a new contractor. We're starting to kick up. In 2 weeks, we'll probably have final designs or almost to the final designs. We go to the county, and then in 2 months, we should be approved. No later than that, we're being told. And then we kick off around January 1 and start the reconstruction.
Okay. This is one of my favorite. Oh. Yingzi. Ready? No. Okay. William, you ready? Bagi jushimetotam rirablingshinende gempadi sange shindumite uagi dokunam dakshina jepasho inam gururanamandalakam niyatayami Chedam soki chodam la Chamchun baidu dagni kapsuchi Daki junyen gibe sunam ki Lola benshir sange drupasho Chunam soki chodam la Chamchun baidu Suchi Daki Chunyen Gibe Sunam Ki Dola Benchir Sange Drupasho Chunam Soki Chunam La Chanchu Badu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki chunyen gibe sunam ki Lola benchir sange drupasho. This next part is one of my favorite parts. We're at Berna, right, Adam? Okay. Berna champan chigni achare chesu shugne de cham chepadang. Berna means what? For example, do you know what cham is? Cham? Yeah, dance. It's sacred dance, monk dance. Okay, cham. Okay, there is it's spelled. You don't see it very often. Cham. Champan is Bun. Bun means a master of anything. Okay, start dictionary entry. Bun. Okay, Dao Ban Arapana Bun. You can add bun at the end of anything. It means like Lao Shi or something like that. It means like a da bun, an arrow bun is a what? Archery master. Okay, lo bun is a study master, acharya, right? And like that. Makban. Mak means war. Yeah, Makban is a general. Okay, so you add bun to anything, it becomes a master of that thing. Okay, champan. So here it's a champan. What's that mean? Yeah, master dancer. Okay, or a master in a traditional Chinese opera or something like that. Okay, champan. Chik ni. Chik means one. Ni means only one. Just one. Okay, ni. Okay, just one. Champan. Acharya che so shuk. Shuk means he puts on the che. Che means start dictionary entry. Chasa che. Little bit unusual word. Che means the uniform or the dress of a certain profession, or so like a plumber's che would be overhauls, and an army man's che would be an army uniform, and the che of a monk is robes. You see what I mean? Like the required dress for a certain occupation is che. Okay, so here he's putting on the che of an acharya. Acharya. Say acharya. It's not the same as acharya. Okay, say acharya. What's acharya? Huh? Like a master, like a Buddhist master. It's called acharya. Okay, Vajracharya is your tantric teacher. Okay. That's the root of that is char, and char means to move or to act, and the English cognate is chariot's good, car, moving, something moving. Okay, char, and then kala danda, R's changed to L's. Okay, like chas come from kas, it means to move. Okay, time is called kala. Okay, hello, so. Acharya means a super doer. Means very much, but this one is short a, so it means what? In the beginning of a word, it means not, like atheist, apolitical, apathetic, agnostic. Okay, amoral. It means not. Okay, it comes to English through Greek. Okay, and from Sanskrit. Chara. So what does it mean to say achara rather than acharya? Yeah, not someone who doesn't act. Char, achara. So this is an ancient word for a clown or a buffoon or a jester. Okay, so it means like a doof. What do you call that? What's a TV? Like a daytime TV comedian. Like what do you call that? What are those guys, the long-running cartoon thing? Yeah, a Simpson character. Okay, is achara. So this champan can put on the clothes of a clown and come out on the stage and play a clown. Okay, acharya, one master. Shugne de cham chepa, and then he acts out the part of a clown. Okay, then he goes backstage and changes into the che. What's che? The uniform or the clothing, the typical clothing of Chugyal, king of the Dharma, Chugyal. That has two very seriously different meanings in Buddhism, okay? Give me either one. Yeah, like in one of the ancient kings, like we could say King Ashoka, Bimbisara, Uddayana, these high kings of ancient India who supported the Buddhism, These are Chugyal, Dharma kings, okay? Rich businessmen in China who are supporting Dharma are very close to Chugyal. Okay, but what's the other meaning of Chugyal? The king of all things. Huh? No, this is Gyalpo. Yeah, it's a Yamantaka, Dharmaraja. Yamantaka and Dharmaraja are the same. It means the Lord of Death. Okay, Dharmaraja means king of all things. All things are under his control. All things die. When he says die, you die. So Dharmaraja is a very serious tantric deity, meaning a death deity. Okay, so that's a little bit different from an Achara than a Simpson character. Okay, so now you've got like someone who can destroy your house and kill all your children, and this is completely different. The idea is, I don't think this is working so well. The idea is that you can have an actor who plays a fool, and then 5 minutes later he's playing Transformer. What do you call that big one? Yeah, what's it, Optimum Prime? Optimus Prime. Yeah, so one moment he's playing a Simpson character, and then he goes back and he comes back out as Optimus Prime, That's the idea, okay? That's exactly the idea, and it's important. He's doing this on purpose. He's saying it on purpose. Everything from a Simpson character to a Optimus Prime. Who can play that role? Yeah, your teacher also, okay? Chugel Kichesu Shugne De Cham Chepa. Then can you hear me okay? It sounds weird to me. Then he can do that. He can play that role. Cham Che. He can do that role. Cham Che na. Che Jewale. Dundu Champun Chikpo De Rang Yinba. This Jewa, B-R-J-E, Baura Jatajadamuj, means to switch or to change, okay? To switch. So don't confuse it with Jetson Kappa or something like that, okay? This is B-R-J-E. R-J-E means Lord. B-R-J-E means switching, okay? Like changing money, or here, what is it? He's changing roles or clothes. He's just changing his clothes. Che, he's changing the che. He's changing his uniform, okay? But lay, this is the the disjunctive lay, okay? Meaning what? Yeah, it's just that, but it's not. What's he going to say? He's changing his clothes, but he's the same dude, okay? In essence, he's the same guy. He's the same actor, I like it, like you see, I don't know, you see some famous actor play a hero, and then in the next movie he's a creep. And I like it, like that actors have that kind of range, that they can change into a completely different personality. And that's what's happening here, okay? Everything from a clown to the destroyer of the universe, okay? He can play. He or she can play it, okay? It's a very beautiful, to me it's a very beautiful, by the way, if you ask a Tibetan what's an achara, they will never, it's a very, very extremely rare word. It's the only time I've ever seen it. Okay. Dundu here is an idiom that means, but in fact, in actual fact, it's just one champan. Means what? One master dancer, one master actor. Okay. Champan chik po de rang yimba shin. Shin means it's like that. Okay. What's it mean? What's like that? Yeah, your teacher or the friends around you, okay? That's the point, okay? We're not just talking about your teacher. If Lord Buddha can play a fool, then they can play your best friend also. Okay? All right? Or they can play some goofy, they can be goofy. You see, that's the idea. It could be somebody goofy in your life is a Buddha, or it could be somebody terribly serious and powerful. Could also be a Buddha. We don't know. Okay, got it? It's not just talking about your teacher, but your teacher can play a fool also. I mean, Rinpoche people would come in and meet him and say, they'd come down and say, he's such a sweet old man, and I'm like, which room? Which room did you go to? And And he would be goofy. For people, he would play goofy. And then with us, he'd just like hit us and stuff, you know. And not much, okay, he hit me once, really. Okay, but anyway, it wasn't, he could play goofy also. By the way, he could also do extraordinary, what do you call it? Pantomimes of people? Like, some student would come up and bore him for half an hour with some stupid question, and he'd go, yes, I know, yes. And then the person would leave, and I'd go up and bring him tea, and he'd go, Ribiche, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I'd say, Ribiche, don't do that. But it was perfect. It was totally perfect. He was very observant. You know, he could get the face right and everything. Okay. The next example is kind of cool. Tsel tabu chiki kope che damin dawa mambo chikyang. So tsel. This one you don't know, okay? Trust me, it's vermilion. Okay, Mao Tsala tsel. It's a special tree sap that's red in color and is used for calligraphy in Tibet. Okay, it's called tsel. And the only reason I know it is there's special editions of the Kangyur that were written out in tsel, and they're called tsel parmar, tsel Kangyur. Okay, I think Russia has one of them. So anyway, tsel means with one pot of ink, okay, one pot of vermilion, you can write all different things, and you can draw all different things. But the essence of each drawing is just the same ink. So you can write a suicide letter, or you can write a love letter, or you can write a deed to buy 1,000 acres, but the ink is the same. Okay, with the same ink, you can do vastly different things. You know, and with the same body, a Buddha can take many different forms. Okay, like they are like ink. Okay, Chira Dhamindra Mambo Chikyang. Dundu, there's that dundu again. Dundu means but in actuality. Selki Rangshin Nyi Yimbatar. It's nothing. Its nature is nothing but the ink. Okay, Yimbatar Rangre Dulwe Tab Kesu. As a skillful means for dulwaing all of us, okay, taming us, Dorje Chang, Vajradhara secret Buddha, takes many tulpas, many emanations. Kona, nothing more than that, okay? It's just all Dorje Chang, okay? Where does it stop? You know, is it just your teachers, or is it the attendants to the teachers, or is it the friends of the attendants, or is it the people at the gas station where the attendant stopped on the way to the grocery store? Where does it stop? Where does Vajradhara decide it's too low for him to play? You know, nothing. He'll go to a clown. He'll be a Simpson character. If it helps somebody, he'll do anything. Okay. Okay. Yin Nyam Desam. You should think that way. You should get in the habit of thinking that way. Okay. You can't trust anybody. Okay, all right? So be careful. And it's a lot more fun not to trust anybody, you know? Like if you meet a really irritating person on an airplane, and it's a lot of fun to try to pretend they're somebody special, you know? Okay. Shenyang Meisha. This is one of the most beautiful examples in Buddhist writing. It's coming, okay? I like the clown, the Simpson guy, but the next one's pretty good too. Shenyang Meisha la tene chawe me zimbatar. Okay, Shenyang means moreover. Me means fire. Shell means crystal. Okay, Mei shell. What do you think a Mei shell is? Close. It's a magnifying glass. Okay, it's a Mei shell. It's a crystal that you use to magnify the light of the sun. Okay, Mei shell. It's called Mei shell. Fire crystal. Okay, Mei shell latene. Jawa is a kind of a tree. If you're interested, it's like a cottonwood. in Arizona we have cottonwoods. They grow along the streams. They're huge trees. They take 1,500 gallons a day or something. They're like eucalyptus. But they have a fuzzy seed pod that looks like cotton. And we used to go Boy Scout camping, around the cottonwoods. And I found out something cool one day. If you light a match and touch a pile of cottonwood, it goes and like explodes, and then the whole forest is on fire. It's we discovered that one day. Jawa, this kind of tree pod fuzz is very good when you want to start a fire with a magnifying glass. Okay, mei zimba means it will catch fire. Okay, it will catch fire if you have a magnifying glass. But if you don't, the sun is hot, but it's dispersed. It's not focused. Okay, you're starting to guess what he's going to say. What's he going to say? Huh? Say again? Yeah, great. Yeah, the teacher is the magnifying glass. Like there's all these Buddha sunlight, all the Buddhas in the world. There are many Buddhas in this world. They are hanging out everywhere. But they can make you warm, but they can't put you on fire. You need a lama. You mean a lama magnifying glass. And then they magnify the sun of the Buddhas, and then they get you on fire. Okay. Mei Zimbatarnam Se Natso Nyenang. This is really a cool example for those of us who can't stop eating. Me and Scott. Say Natso. Who else could spend $300 of Rob Ressinger's money at breakfast in Moscow? You got the bill, right? It was just coffee, I swear. It was a coffee next door to the Kremlin, and apparently we didn't know how much it cost. That's why we put it on the Diamond Mountain credit card. Okay. It was $10 a refill of coffee. Anyway, it kind of, so say natsok means various forms of food. Nyenang. You can find lots of stuff, like if you go to the food court in your local mall, and there'll be Chinese food, and there'll be Mexican food, and there'll be all kinds of food, all kinds of different food. We went to one in Singapore. We took a photo of the sign. Can you guys remember what it said? $28, all you can eat, and then it said what? 90 minutes. You had, it said 90 minutes. You have 90 minutes to eat as much as you can. Then they throw you out. So we were like, don't go to the bathroom. Just keep eating. Say natso nyenang. You can find a lot of food, but in the end, it has to go through one tube. What do you call this? Your esophagus. Okay. So no matter how much junk food you stuff into your mouth, it all has to pass through one esophagus. What's he saying? To get digested, it has to pass through one channel. Who's that? Yeah, your lama. Okay, like you can stuff your face with all kinds of ideas, or you could taste Amitabha, or you could taste Manjushri, or you can taste Kuan Yin. But in the end, they all have to go through one. Whatever you eat has to go through one channel to be digested properly. Okay. That's kind of a weird example, if you ask me. Somewhere, Tor Minjuk. Tor Minjuk means otherwise it doesn't reach the belly. Tor means belly. Okay. Tor Minjuk Pashindu. Sange ki chinlap tang namka ki chinle. Lama latene jungwe. Therefore, the blessing of all the Buddhas and all their pure white enlightened deeds can only happen if the Lama is around. Okay? You need the magnifying glass, you need the esophagus. They can't do their thing. The Buddhas cannot do their thing unless there's a Lama around to focus the energy. Okay? Jungwei Sam, Namka ki le tamche che du jupe na. And because a Lama engages also in all the activities of a Buddha, Sangye tamche ki chinle ki che papoyen, they are the agent of the Buddhas. They are the representative of the Buddhas in our world. Okay, they are the, what do you call it? Like agent, right? Like manager. Okay, what do you call it? Middleman. Like that. Okay, yeah. Chepapoyin. Little bit more. You okay? 15 minutes more. Okay. Chinese are very brave. You're a good example for these guys. Please come often. They work harder when you're here. You know. Otherwise, the Americans are like. Okay. They yina sangye ying go talk me samna. Go talk me. Now they get to a very heavy question. Okay, here comes a heavy question. If my Lama is serving as the agent of the Buddhas, like the middleman, if they're just carrying knowledge to me from the Buddhas, Sangye yin go dome. This dok is a really weird Tibetan word. It's very, very, very colloquial. D-O-G-S. Start dictionary entry, D-O-G-S. Yin Gudome is an idiom here. D-O-G-S. So dok here means, dok can mean a doubt or a suspicion, but here it means they don't gotta be. It's the gotta. It's the T-A in gotta. Okay? Gudome. They don't gotta be a Buddha. Okay? Gudo. Say gudo. Gudome. Yeah, they don't gotta be a Buddha. Okay, just because they're the agent, you can be an agent of a rich man without being rich, right? You can be a postman and carry securities, but that doesn't make you rich. You see? So he says, Samna. Some people might get this idea in their head. If he's just delivering Buddhism to me, then it's not necessary he's a Buddha. Okay. Sangye ki chinle te, Sangye ki semchen ki dunze kap, chinab te lama la tene jukka. But the fact is, when you get the blessings or the knowledge from the Buddhas, they cannot do it without this agent. It's not possible. They cannot communicate it to you directly. They have to work through this agent. He's got an exclusive. Okay, or she has an exclusive. Yin jukka. They're gonna, if this agent is an exclusive agent, if the Buddhists have agreed only to work through one agent, then that agent, Sangye Yin. Okay, that agent's gotta be a Buddha. Okay, if they agreed they're only gonna have one agent, then that, first of all, since it's an exclusive agent, it should be a Buddha. That Lama must be a Buddha, Yimba lay, and there's the disjunctive lay again. Ta melpa yinpa, for that Lama to be a normal person, tab me means what? No way. Got it? Tab me. No way. It's like, no way. They think the Buddhists are gonna hire an agent who's not a Buddha? Tubme. And no way. It's really cool. He talks really funny, the Rinpoche. Tubme. De yina sangye tamje ki chinle jukpe go semjen la re gober gyur. Then he gives a logical progression, okay? If your Lama was a normal person, then what would happen would be that enlightened beings would have to rely on a normal schmuck to do their stuff. Okay? Like they would, if they wanted to send you a message, they'd have to wait for this guy who wasn't a Buddha. You see what I mean? Imagine. Okay, I gotta send a message to Anatole. I gotta send him a dream of some enlightened thing, Yeah, well, we can't do it today. Why? because we only got a human to work with, and he's asleep. And just imagine how weird it would be if the Buddhas had to wait on humans to take care of stuff they want to do. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, Chukpe go semchen la rewa gopagir. De guna soke la rene kyan dunche pagyowecher. And then you would have to say that enlightened beings would have to rely on people who never saw emptiness to do stuff they need, which is ridiculous. Okay, like he's like, come on, that's like the worst idea I ever heard of. A Buddha's gonna wait, for somebody who never even saw emptiness to get stuff done. It doesn't make sense. Okay, got it? Soke la rewa deche migote. Therefore, the whole idea is ridiculous. Sangye ki semjen ki dun zenkap. When Buddhas want to do stuff for suffering beings, they don't even ask lower arhats or great bodhisattvas to help them out. So why on earth would they ask a soke? If they won't even go to a person who reached nirvana, and they won't go to a high bodhisattva, then why would they depend on someone who didn't even see emptiness? I mean, why would they do that? If you're going to hire someone to change the world, you don't hire a schmuck. You hire a Buddha. Okay. Soke la rewa tachima. Tachima is a nice idiom. La tatata, chagi kuchi, me samatamana ramosa, me tachima. Say tachima. Tachima means needless to say. Okay, needless to say. No need mention a person who never saw emptiness. Tachima. If they don't even use high bodhisattvas or they don't even use arhats, then who needs to talk about a person who didn't see emptiness? Tachima. Okay. Dena semchen ki tongkel tsamdu tamel pertulwa singdang. Okay, this is one of the coolest parts. Did I ever say that today yet? But it's always true. I'm giving Rebecca cool things to edit out of her film. She's like doing this 6 months from now in her house in Phoenix, and she's like, okay, I'll do it again just for fun. Okay. Just remember when it happens. You can laugh. Maybe that's the last one. All right. Tena semjengi tongel tsamdu. Tamel pertulwa. Therefore, they only emanate themselves as normal people to the tongkel. Now he's created a new word. We had galwa, then we had lekel, and now he's created a new word called tongkel. You tell me, what's galwa? Yeah, how much good karma you have? Okay, what's lekel? Same thing really, karma quantity or something like that. Here he's created a new word, tongkel. Yeah, enough galwa to see stuff is called tongkel. Enough good karma to see stuff. Therefore, just for their level of karma, he shows himself as a normal person to normal people. Okay? Semchen. Okay? Now here comes the cool part. You ready? Hang on to your seat. You got it? I love this sentence. This is one of the greatest sentences in Buddhism. You got to repeat it. Okay, ready? Singdang, Samba, Sok, Tulkyang, Rangchak, Namlani, Shingsowe, Sepatar, Namale, Shen, Mitong. Okay, just get this sentence. It's so cool. And then we'll do some questions. How's that? Because it's a good place to stop. Sing means a boat, like a rowboat or a little sailboat is called a sing. Okay. True sing. It's also called true sing. Okay. You can call it true or sing or true sing. What's a num true? Num means sky. Yeah, airplane is called skyboat in Tibetan. Namtu. Okay. So sing, samba. Samba means a bridge. Okay, a bridge. So tulpa. Huh? Yeah, they emanate themselves as boats on the river or bridges that your car goes over. Highway overpasses. Clover leaves in Phoenix. Okay? They can emanate themselves as a highway overpass. They can emanate themselves as a boat on the ocean. Okay? Tulkyang. Rangchak namlani. But we think, Shing soe supa. Shing means wood. So means worker. Supa means made by. What? Yeah, we think, this highway was built by some poor guys who worked on a cement truck at night, And then Nangwa means that's how we see it. That's how it appears to us. But in truth, it's a Buddha emanated as the highway, Highway 10. Okay, even the road from Highway 10 to Diamond Mountain. Even the road with the what do you call them? No. Washboard. Yeah. That's also emanation. Okay? Not just good highways. Also buoy roads. Okay? Also could be emanation. Okay? Shen mitong. Nawale shen mitong. But all we can see is something made by a human. Okay? We believe it was made by a human. Okay? And we don't see anything else. Shen mitong. Okay? So now the problem has vastly expanded. Okay? Before we just had to treat teachers nice. Then we have to treat, parents nice. And then we have to treat everybody nice, even on the plane. And now, then it was our pets. Could be Buddhas. And then we had to be nice to the birds over there because they might be a Buddha. And now we got a real problem. The road up there to your cabin could be a Buddha. Okay? So no complaining. Got it? Okay? Like the world is getting weird. Okay? Okay? If you have the Kyawa, you can see it. Okay? You're like, and I think Native people, we're going to have a talk by Native Americans on Wednesday. It's a very extraordinary, Manny and his wife, right? What's his, Rose? And they are really extraordinary Native American people. They used to own this land until the white people took it. And so we always invite them to come back, and they do special ceremonies for us. And he's a very beautiful man, and he's a good speaker, and he's going to give us a talk. And when a Native American walks down a path, many of them, I think, they see it as some kind of high spirit or something. They see the spirit of the path. They see the spirit of the sky. They see the spirit of the earth. And according to this, they're not so wrong. Maybe they know something. So I think it'd be nice to have them come. So this used to be a very important place for American Indians, Apaches. So we're gonna invite them. I'll tell you a beautiful story about him. And Kat's very good friends with them, and she brings them here. But she arranged for him to come and have a meeting. This land is one of the biggest retreat lands in America. And I said, this used to be your people's land. And they said, yes. And then I said, we want to give you back a quarter of it or something. We said, we'll give you back a quarter of it. Just free. We'll give it back to you. And then he goes, nah. And I'm like, what? And he said, nah. And I said, we'll give it to you, free. And he's like, nah. And then I'm like, why? I got really hurt, I'm like, maybe he wants half, Then And then I said, why not? He said, he looks at me and he said, nobody owns the earth. Nobody owns the earth. He wouldn't take it. But they come here sometimes, and they do ceremonies, and it's very beautiful. Okay, so we'll do that. I said I would do questions, but I lied. But it's probably I'm just being like a Simpson character. But we'll do questions tonight, okay? Because I have an important job with Mark and some other people, right? And Scott Johnson. Okay, so we'll stop there. Oh, one more thing, two more things. Your knees are starting to hurt. Your bottom's starting to hurt. Some of you are starting to sit like this. Get a massage, okay? That's why we have them here. Bob is great. He's one of the best in Arizona, okay? He's very famous. He's also Kung Fu master, okay? Right? Something. He's a teacher for many, many years of Wushu. So he teaches many students Wushu. So feel free to get a massage, okay? He's really good. He's not as good as China, okay? But he's okay. And you'll feel much better, okay? And he doesn't care. You're supposed to pay him a certain price, but if you cannot, then you just talk to him a lot, okay? And you can do that. And then, I don't know, Robin, are you doing? Okay, you have to sign up or talk to her. Nicole Vigna, where are you? Yeah. Is there, and Tahia? Where's Tahia? They're all like unbelievable massage therapists. So, Wordsmith, sorry. So you guys don't suffer. Just go get a massage, okay? It's fun, and they're good at it, okay? They're really good at it. So don't be shy, okay? Don't be shy. That's all we'll do today. There'll be coffee meditation at 4:02 with Stanley Chen. Okay. I hope he makes us lie down. Stanley, you want to do the honors? Cool. Thank you. I love this book. I love this thing. So thank you for coming. All right, 15-minute break, and then we'll have our coffee meditation. Oh, yeah, we have, wait, hang on one sec. You have an announcement?
I really wanted to thank people for pitching in and helping out. I walked in the temple today, and it was like a new place. It was very beautiful, so thank you. And a quick reminder, 5:15 to 5:45, the kitchen crew, Aisha, Gibson, Emily, Will, Christine. We're trying to free up time. The Jinsek prep usually all happens on one day. The schedule doesn't allow for that, so we're going to do it spread out over several days. So during lunch, if you want to help with Jinsek preparation, we're going to do it in the food tent. Oh, sorry, Jinsek fire ceremony. Okay, which we'll do at the end of the retreat. It's like a offering for world peace, purification ceremony. So we'll be preparing that in the food tent during lunch all week, so we don't have to do it in a big rush all on the last day. Venerable Gyaltse say will be leading that effort. If you have photos that you're taking, please forward them to Tim and Aisha, who will be putting together slideshow and are putting stuff up on the new Diamond Mountain Retreat Facebook site, which everybody will get to see, I guess, after retreat.
Okay, thank you. See you at coffee meditation. Maybe 4:05, okay? 4:05.
If you haven't gotten a homework yet for this class, we're up to homework 8. They're outside near the homework table. So please put one out there. Thank you.